China is in the midst of a rapid push to gain economic and political ascendancy across the Asia-Pacific region and the world. And it's splashing out billions of dollars across the globe in concessional loans to developing countries for infrastructure projects. But what happens when countries, often poorer than China, can't pay them back? Poorer nations are lured by China's offer of cheap loans for transformative infrastructure projects. Then, when predictably, these countries are unable to keep up with their repayments, Beijing can demand concessions or other advantages in exchange for debt relief. This is known as debt trap diplomacy.
With these massive Chinese investments and loans, that many countries find that they are in a state of indebtedness, and in order to overcome the indebtedness, then they give very long leases on parts of their territory. That process we've seen elsewhere.
Let's take Sri Lanka for example. Protests erupted last year when Sri Lanka was forced to hand over control of the failed Hambantota port project over to China, after it found itself billions of dollars in debt to Beijing. China now has control of a key port on the doorstep of regional rival India, and a strategic foothold along a key commercial and military waterway. At the same time, a little closer to home, Australia has been sluggish to respond to China's spreading influence in the South Pacific. Chinese loans have gone from 0 to 1.8 billion in a decade. And some of our neighbours are already heavily laden with debt to Beijing. Fiji owes China $500 million, and Tonga now owes more than 160 million. That's a third of its GDP. Tonga's also been forced to admit it may fail to repay its debts. That stoked fears other small Pacific countries could fall into debt distress and possibly become vulnerable to diplomatic pressure from Beijing.